Welcome everybody to ICA TV on a sunny Friday here. And we're recording this programme to be put out on a Saturday or Sunday at 8 o'clock when you could be chilling with that glass of something cool or a cup of coffee, you know, and want to come and chat with us, with amazing ladies about their business and why they do it. So today we've got Jenny. Hi Jenny, welcome to ICA TV.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, welcome. Well, it's very cool. And I've got here that your title is a mindset coach and business strategist.
Strategist, yes.
There's a t at the end. And you work specifically with mums who are in their businesses.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. And I know a little bit about your background, but tell me how you started and why you started in relation to your children.
Yes, definitely. Well, yeah, mine's a bit of a story, but to try and cut a very long story short, I was in the environment industry for a decade. So I really loved working with companies on their products and their packaging to reduce the environmental impact of it. But this took me all over the UK. And it was a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of traveling. It just wasn't something I could do with kids. So when I had my daughter, I just decided to take some time off and really kind of spend some time with her, grow into being a mum, which I think is really, really important. And a lot of mums who return back to work or do something straight away don't really get that opportunity to do that. So I wanted to do that. And then I just didn't really know what to do. So I was in that space for a while, loving life with my daughter. But then at the age of 2, my daughter got diagnosed with a quite a rare condition, which is a hip condition, which wasn't caught at birth and potentially could have been. Which meant she needed a big operation and a long time in what they call a spiker cast, which is a big cast from the waist right the way down both legs, with both of her legs kind of held apart with a broomstick, what they call a broomstick stick. So practically it was a nightmare. And like emotionally, I took quite a downturn, sort of coping with, you know, a bit of bitterness, resentment, confusion, like how the hell are we going to cope with this? How did she deserve this? Why didn't the NHS pick this up? So I went down quite a dark spiral emotionally and mindset wise, which I struggled to get out of. But we got her to our operation, we got her out of the hospital, and slowly I just realized that every morning she was waking up with a smile on her face, like even though she was going through this, what any adult would see as absolutely horrendous treatment. And she woke up like still determined to do stuff and still wanting to go to the park, still wanting to go to soft play, still wanting to get around the house and dance and everything she used to do before. And I was like, how does she see the world this way? Like, I don't see the world this way anymore. I'm stuck in quite a dark hole, but she wakes up every morning with a smile on her face. And she taught me the importance of like how you view life, how you view everything. Everything is determined by how you perceive the world and how you respond to that. And just from watching her and her battle and her sort of determination to just continue being happy and active and doing everything she wants to do despite all the restraints that we had, it gave me a total obsession with psychology and mindset. And I realized I'd done a bit of that in the past with my job in terms of changing people's mindset around the environmental impact, like not changing something to be green doesn't diminish its value or make it cheaper or, you know, make it more complicated to produce. So I realized there was a lot of mindset stuff in what I had done before that I hadn't quite realized. and I got totally obsessed with success psychology. So what makes really successful people
Be who they
different?
are.
Yeah, and how do they think differently, and what does all of that look like? What is you know, a millionaire mindset, a lot of people say, and you know, I got totally obsessed with all of that, and from that, to cut a very long story even shorter, that's where my business was born, to help people with mindset, because to me, business is 80% mindset and only 20% strategy. And I found when I launched as a mindset coach, the majority of people that I was connected with and the majority of people who came to me for help were mums who wanted to, you know, do something for themselves around their family, but was holding them back by this fear of not having enough time or not having enough confidence, or, you know, it's somehow interfering with being a great mum and running a successful business. So I just naturally kind of niched down into the type of people who were approaching me for work. And now I work with kind of busy, ambitious mums who want to scale their business, but don't want to up the amount of time that they spend. They still want that flexibility to be great mums, but they don't want to limit their ambition for what they want to do with their business. So that's kind of a massively long story in a few minutes.
It's very cool, and it's very concise, and I think it's there is a division with, and I am going stereotypical here, you know, when you're a woman, you have a business, and it can't be a business that's going to sustain the family, because you've got your kids to look after, and it's your responsibility to do the school run maybe, or whatever it is. And I know it's stereotypical, but percentage wise, ladies are still doing this.
And yeah, absolutely, and they still want to as well.
Yes, absolutely.
I think, yes, it is a stereotype, but a lot of the mums I work with, they want to do the school run, they want to do the parents' evening, they want to have a flexible business so they can get to sports days and stuff. So yes, it's a stereotype, but it's a stereotype that is very, very common and actually true for many of us mums. Like, I got into this business wanting to do a bit of mindset coaching and help people to overcome mindset blocks. And I wanted to do it in a really flexible way. I wasn't in it to build a massive 7-figure business, you know. And so I started in exactly the same place as where a lot of my clients start. But what I quickly realized was the value that you add, that people pay for, it's not directly linked to your time. Like, people don't care how long you spend working with them, people want the results. And I always liken this to like a hairdresser. Do you go to the hairdresser to have them to work really, really hard and really long hours on your hair? And do you pay them by the hour? No, you go because you want to get a really nice cut and color in the shortest amount of time possible. Well, I definitely do, because I've got really thick hair. So if a hairdresser if a hairdresser can do that in half the time, then that's perfect. But am I going to pay them less? No. So value is about the results that you give people, and that's what people pay for. So as a busy mum, if you can design your business to give maximum results, maximum value in the shortest amount of your time possible, it is not just possible, but it's relatively easy to set up your business so that you can earn whatever you want to earn in however much time you want to spend on it. And this is why I've kind of merged into a mindset coach and a business strategist, because you've got to get over those mindset blocks first to believe you can do stuff like that. But after that, it's about business strategy. As an ambitious, busy mum, how do you set up your business model, your business strategy, your sales funnel, your buyer's journey, and all that, so that you can work the hours you want to work, but still not limit your ambition for how much you want to earn.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm definitely on the same page there, my darling. You know, and I used to work as a business called Mums and Business. That's very interesting. And I work with probably ladies who had under teenage years families. And then my children grew. And now I don't do that anymore. I think you as a business person grow I think with your family as well. And so I obviously work with mums, because a lot of us are mums, but we don't usually have tots or the school age sort of age kids around anymore. So mine's, thank goodness. I love children. I'm really happy to give them back. And
Yes.
One day I'll be a grandma, and I am planning on that. Now my kids are big, so but we'll wait and see when that happens. But I totally in awe of ladies who are running a family, certainly in the last bloody year.
Yeah.
My goodness, I couldn't imagine raising the boys and running the business and being in lockdown and teaching and juggling and swinging cats from, it's just like potty world. So hands up to everybody who's watching who has had to do that, and yourself, Jenny. I think it's bloody awesome.
100%. I've definitely got a few more wrinkles, but being there to support my clients who are in the same situation I was as well, to still actually achieve stuff, even though you have like maybe 2 hours in the evening because you've got kids to homeschool in the daytime. And it was definitely a juggle for both me and a lot of mums that I know out there, in like my Facebook group and clients and stuff. There was a lot of that. Okay, how do we get productive with the time that we have and still actually move our businesses forward rather than just firefight? Because a lot of things I talk about in terms of productivity, it's not actually about trying to be productive and trying to use our time better. It's about prioritizing what we are getting done. And I always say, like a to-do list, you need to really look at your to-do list. Look at what's on your to-do list. Is it full up of firefighting tasks? Like, is it actually going to get you nowhere? Even if you ticked everything off your to-do list, is your business still going to stand still? And it's about, making sure those vision tasks, I call them vision tasks, in terms of,
where you're going
and where your business is going. Are those vision tasks on your to-do list? And the simplest bit of advice I always give is just pick 3 things a day, and make sure one of those things is a vision task that moves you forward with your business goals or your life goals or your health goals, but it somehow moves you forward in your life rather than spending all day, every day, just getting stuck in firefighting tasks.
And that is such an energy drainer, isn't it?
100%. And also, if you just pick 3 things, there's a massive mindset shift there. If I had a massive to-do list at the start of the day, which had 30 things on it, and the only things I got done were 3 things, and I crossed those off, I'd feel dreadful. I'd feel like that was an absolutely terrible day. But if I took a big to-do list and I prioritized 3 things and just said to myself, I want to just do this, this, and this today, and circled them or wrote them out separately. And I chose 2 firefighting tasks and 1 vision task. And I just got those 3 things done that day. I'd feel like, right, yes, I've got what I wanted to do today. And I've moved forward in this one area. And it's exactly the same. You've done the same amount of things off your to-do list, but there's a massive mindset difference between like one story that you tell yourself and the other story that you tell yourself. So if I had to pick like one thing that worked for me and for a lot of my clients during lockdown, it was literally just the rule of 3. Just pick 3 things, make sure one moves you forward in some aspect of your life every single day, and at least you are taking baby steps forward, even in the middle of a global pandemic.
It's mad world. Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we talk about in our Action Club, which is our paid VIP club in ICA, is about giving yourself that smile, giving yourself that praise, that pat on the back for whatever you've done within the day. Because even if it's get out of bed, the simplest of things that you do will give you that praise and that next step, going, actually, I bloody did that. That's very cool. Whatever that step is, even if it's decide to drink a glass of water rather than a cup of coffee, and make a decision. Rule of 3 is very cool. I've done it, and it's a smile, and it just enables you to go, oh, okay, that's cool. We've done that, rather than at the end of the day getting into bed going, wow, just in a total whirlwind and feeling shit. Ooh, technical word, sorry, we're recording.
Absolutely. And I think also, like for me, it's we quite often forget what we have done and we punish ourselves for what we haven't done. So inside my membership, the Sparkle Salon, what we do every Sunday is we do a Sunday reset, and we thank ourselves and acknowledge ourselves for what we've done in the past week. And then we set our intentions for the next week. And what I often find is my members come back to me and go, okay, being prompted to say what we did achieve last week was actually a really great way to remind me what I had achieved that I'd actually forgotten I'd achieved, because I'd spent my entire time punishing myself for the stuff I didn't achieve.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like having some kind of journal or way to remind yourself to look back and say, you know, well done. Last week was challenging because of X, Y, and Z, but I still managed to achieve X, Y, and Z. And next week, my intention is this, is such a great kind of 10-minute exercise to do on a Sunday night, which I prompt all of my members to try and remember to do on a Sunday night. And I do it myself. And it's amazing how many times you actually forget the good stuff because you're so focused on, oh my God, I've still got this to do and this to do and this to do. So it's really great to take a minute and take some deep breaths and say, okay, let's just thank ourselves for the good that happened last week and acknowledge that before we set our intentions for the next week.
I think that's a very big key, that big golden key, sparkly golden key, isn't it, for that next, you know, because it keeps you moving forward, but also it lifts again that energy and it makes you feel bloody good. I've got a couple of family members, you know, bless them, they contact me regularly, and I'm hands up, I'm not a very good contact person, you know. It's, you know, we're in our own little world and we do our own stuff, and I'm not I love my family dearly, bar my boys, I contact them very regularly, but outside family I'm not that good at it. But I have a family member who messaged me, I think I'm on his calendar once a month. I get a message going, how are you doing, Tree? And I go, oh, we're really good, thanks, hun, how are you doing? Oh, it's all right. I go, oh, it's not raining today. Yeah, sun's bloody hot though, isn't it? It's all maybe that's why I don't contact them. And because it's like there are always people around us that we could be impacted with. You know, just because they're not the most positive people in the world, we have to also keep us safe. But by doing that smiley thing and doing that gratitude and doing that planning for the next week and giving yourself a pat on the back helps you deal with the world in a different way.
And I think that's very British as well. It's very British to complain in a really polite way. It's like, how are you today? Oh, you know, I've had better. This happened. It's very British, but
it's all right.
It doesn't help. And if you can be that person that says, yeah, I've had a great day, and you know, how are you? And up the energy. I think a lot of us don't do that because there's a fear of looking like you're showing off. Like British people hate showing off. This is a really, really British thing to do. But I think if you can get over that and you are the one that brings the positive energy to the conversation, you get such a positive response, because what they're doing is they're scared of sounding like they're showing off or boasting as well, or being overconfident. So if you can start the conversation from a positive angle, you get a much more positive person back at you. So you know, when you start a conversation in the playground with other mums or something, try and lead with something positive, instead of, oh yeah, isn't the weather rubbish, or isn't it a bit too hot, or oh, aren't you so tired? I think it's also fashionable in the busy mum with businesses arena to be busy. It's like, if you're not busy, you're doing the mum thing wrong. It's like you have to be busy if you're a mum, and especially if you're a mum who runs your own business. And if you're not busy, what's wrong with you?
I'm going to say, what's wrong with your business? It's obviously crap. It's not getting anywhere. Yeah.
And so, like, you know, you have to complain about being busy. That's a mum thing to do. You have to there's like this busyness competition. Sometimes when you hear mums chat, it's like it's almost like each one is going for to be the
Busiest, oh my God. And if you're not, I'm failing.
And if you're the busiest, you win. And it's like, no, like I spend my entire life teaching people how to unbusy their life and still get what they want. So like, it's really, really interesting to hear all of those conversations going on around and then dive in, like, what's the mindset? What are the beliefs behind all of this? And digging really deeply into that. That's what I find fascinating. And then linking all of that back to, okay, what do you want? And how do you make it, and how do you achieve it? And I love the title of this, you know, of your channel, I Can Achieve, because once you get that mindset of I can achieve this, it just becomes about like, how do you do it? And that's almost like the easy bit. The bit is about believing you can achieve it. That's the hard bit. Believing and visualizing and knowing what you want to achieve is the hard bit. And then figuring out how to achieve it is almost, you know, easier then once you actually defined what you want to do.
Absolutely. I totally get it, because I Can Achieve is quite an interesting name for us, because it's been around a long time. It was 2006 I joined, I Can Achieve started, and people say, well, why do you want to say I can achieve? Because you're talking about yourself. It's no, I'm not talking about me at all. I'm talking to everybody else who's saying it. So I could say, you can achieve, but what's the point of me telling you? You don't actually believe that. It's a whole mindset. It's a whole internal language. So yeah, I Can Achieve is also definitely out there for the person saying it, not us as a company, as a business. And I just love it. And I've wiggled a few times with names. And if you're out there with your name of your company, or your name is yourself, you know, I've gone from Lawrie-Ashton as my business to I Can Achieve as my business, Mums and Business as my business. You know, it's wiggled, but it's always gone back to my original idea.
And I love I Can Achieve because I think we still need to push this boundary of people telling people their achievements. I think if we achieve stuff, we don't shout about it. I think it's a kind of a feminine thing to do as well. I think men, like, again, stereotyping. See, sometimes you have to on social media, because that's how you do your marketing and ideal clients and stuff. You have to kind of get immersed in stereotyping. But in my experience as well, I mean, men find it a lot easier to shout about their achievements, and women kind of dumb down their achievements, and they're very humble about it. So the thing I love about I Can Achieve is that, you know, you're attracting people who are saying, no, I can achieve. And it's not boasting. It's not being overconfident. It's not anything like that. It's just, you know, being an inspiration. Like, if I can be inspirational to people so that they can achieve more, then I've done my job. And, like, you know, sometimes you have to get over those barriers where, oh, are people going to think I'm boasting? Are people going to think I'm big-headed? And yeah, things like I Can Achieve, it needs saying more by everybody. And that's what we need to teach our kids. I don't want my kids growing up with that really too humble attitude where they're always talking about how horrible the weather is and stuff. I want them to be the ones that bring the positive energy to the conversation.
Totally.
So yeah, I love the name. I'd keep it if I was you.
Okay, I'm definitely keeping it. Absolutely. Thank you so much. But we are there, and I'm just sort of touch on, and I know throughout all the interviews, which are up here on our YouTube channel, a lot of us women who are working with women, a lot of us are, and they're going to the stage where, actually, is it because of our history we still dumb ourselves down, or we're not standing out from the crowd, you know, or is it the fact that we just not made that way? Or, you know, what is it that can't get my words out, does not enable us to stand out and shout, you know, to go, actually, we're bloody good at what we do, we want to help the world, we want to help this, we want to do this, we're working, we're building, you know, what is it that stops us? And there are a few phrases that people have heard as they've grown up. My generation, you know, I was born in the 60s. Don't do your maths, ladies. I know how old I am. I was born in the 60s, going through 70s, and you're going, you know, it was like, you know, you don't stand out, you don't speak up, it wasn't seen and not heard. That's definitely a different generation to me. That was a previous one. But it's like we still hear those phrases about not good enough, can try harder. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody had those school reports. You know, I don't know if they're allowed to do
Yeah.
it anymore. I think there's a politically correct way of writing reports now. But it was, you know, they technically shit at that. Won't amount to anything. You know, all those phrases that we get in our head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not true.
And they say most self-limiting beliefs, which are what are the biggest things that hold you back in terms of mindset, most of those are formed before the age of 7. So not only are they formed and you've lived with them for so long, quite a lot of the time you hardly even realize that they're there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all of those, it's like, because with my kids, I do have a bit of a fundamental issue with school, because taught as a kid, you know, what do you want to be when you're older? Like, there's this holy grail. And when you get to be a grown up with a job that you said you were going to do when you're a kid, that's it, you've made it. And it's like, no, life is not like that. Life is a journey. And you've got to enjoy where you are now, and you've got to enjoy working to where you want to get to next. And that doesn't include just one fixed destination.
No.
So your kids are taught, right, you've got to work really, really, really hard as a kid so that you can end up as a X as a grown up. And that's where, you know, time stops. You spend it forever in this, you know, happily ever after state. It's like, no, I don't want to teach my kids that. I want to teach my kids life is a journey, and you want to enjoy every single step. And if that means, like me, you go into a career and then you have a child and then you start a business and become something else, and then 10 years later you become something else. It's like, it's a journey. It's all an evolution of a person.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, you have to do this as a kid so that you can be this as a grown up, and then you'll be happily ever after forevermore. It's like, I don't want to teach my kids that. I want to teach my kids to enjoy every single step. And whether they end up, like my daughter wants to be a rescue helicopter pilot, which would be pretty awesome. But like, you know, that's probably got quite a lot low lifespan in terms of, you know, being able to do that for a decade. So it's also encouraging her to enjoy the journey to get there, and also telling her that if she doesn't want to do that anymore, like if she's a mum and she wants to do something else, then that's the next chapter. Like, books are written in chapters. You've got to enjoy every single chapter. You can't work your entire life to try and get to a fixed place when there is no fixed place. And there shouldn't be. And I think, you know, taking kids through school and all this pressure on being academic so that you can get to a fixed place in the future, it's not real life. And that's not what I'm trying to encourage my kids to believe.
I totally agree. And I think we need, you know, bless us, we've got a lot to change. We have changed a lot. But we have got a lot to change, and the educational system, personally, I think is a huge thing that we need to change. And one day, maybe next 100 or 200 years, I don't know how long it's going to take. However, the fact is it's still run by the people from academia.
But I have seen some great steps. Like, if we can pull any positives out of the last year or so, it's that schools, my daughter's school in particular, have realized that school is not all about academic achievement. It's about mindset. It's about mental health of our kids. And I'm so sorry to say that there's a lot of kids who went down lockdown who are emotionally and mentally scarred from that experience. And my kids have struggled in lockdown. My daughter struggled a lot with her mental health during lockdown from being isolated from her friends, and getting her back to school was not academic for me. It was emotional. It was mental health issue. And I'm really happy to say that her school has responded well to realizing it's not about getting them back in school so that they can catch up. There was so much going around in the news about kids catching up. And it was driving me insane, because I was like, it's not about academically catching up, it's about healing the emotional wounds that has been caused by being away from their friends, being thrown out of their normal world, being thrown out of routine. Routine is massive for my daughter because of what she's been through, because of being thrown into hospital and then being thrown into a cast for like 3 months. If she gets thrown out of routine, she really struggles with that. So I think that's why lockdown and this whole, we call it the poorly bug in our house. And, you know, it was a complete change of comfort zone. It was a complete change of routine, and she really struggled with that. So, you know, her school is bringing in things like therapy dogs, and they're not pushing spelling and reading, and they're not grouping people and banding people in ranking people like they used to do when I was at school. So I'm actually really happy with that, and I hope that that stays. I hope the focus on the mental health and mindfulness and mindset for our kids stays. And I do think that's one positive thing that's come out of like all of this mess.
I think it's good.
And I don't hear as much in the news now about kids academically having to catch up. It's more about kids and how we're going to support them to heal and grow from this experience, rather than, you know, grades and spelling tests. And
I sure hope that they are on some board, that school, and they can spread it further than just that area.
I 100% agree. And if anyone's watching this that wants me to come and speak to teachers or education leaders, whoever it is, about this kind of stuff and how important I feel mindset is compared to anything.
Fabulous idea.
Ultimately, we want our kids to succeed at whatever it is they choose to do. And it's proven that 80% of success is about mindset, not about academics or qualifications or strategy or tools or tricks or sales techniques or funnels or anything else like that. 80% of success and 80% of business is mindset. We need to be teaching our kids this mindset stuff.
Absolutely.
So they can be successful as they grow up. And yeah, I'm more than happy. If anyone wants me to go and speak at any school, I will do that.
Oh, let me come and watch. I'll video it. I just think it's fabulous, because they as the cliche says, you know, the young people are our future.
100%.
And they're going to rule the country. You know, when we're dead and gone and Boris has fell off his pedestal. I was called pedestal, but I don't know what a pedestal was. His pedestal. There's going to be somebody else, hopefully a bit younger, and then somebody else. You know, these young people are going to lead us.
And the
forward.
world is going to be harder then, because our kids have got to sort out our mess with regards to global warming.
We've done quite well.
That is going to be a task and a half for them. We need kids with, you know, success psychology mindset. We need growth mindset. We need problem solving skills in our children to be able to deal with all of this climate change, all of this, you know, the COVID. There's more and more people on this planet, so things like COVID are going to spread more easily because there's more of us. So we are going to only have more challenges as we go through time and as our kids grow up and as they have kids. This stuff becomes more important than ever, and they're going to have to sort out all of the global warming challenges that we face right now. And that means we need emotionally intelligent, you know, kids that have their mental health spot on, who have growth mindsets and problem solving skills to sort out the future that we have created for them. And so we owe it to them to educate them in the right way to create the next generation of powerful people that are going to help sort all of that out.
I'm not going to be here. I know that. I have a lifespan. Even if I hit 150, not going. You know, however, you know, I'd like to, you know, I just want to be able to see these amazing young people come through. And there are some now that are speaking out and totally up for everything, you know, and it's going to be amazing. And I just want us to stop out and sorting our out so we give them a chance to run. And also that links into businesses as well, doesn't it? You know, the more positive young people we have, the more positive businesses we're going to have, more eco-friendly, to conservation, to, you know, all that side of things, which is obviously a benefit for the world as well as people's lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need entrepreneurial type children to come up to be able to problem solve all of that, and to be able to grow businesses that can contribute back somehow to the planet or to society or to communities. And you see this a lot with money mindset. Like, one of the biggest things to shift any money mindset blocks that people have is to realize the more money you earn through your business, the more you can contribute back in your own way, whether that's, you know, giving to charity is the obvious one there, but it's also about contributing time and energy and value back to making the planet a better place. And if you struggle with your money mindset in terms of, oh, I don't need to make a load of money, there's hundreds of money mindset blocks that we go through, and everybody has one. I've not spoken to one person who doesn't have some kind of money mindset block. But one of the easiest ways to do that is to realize the more money you have, the more you can contribute back to the world. And I think when we're kids as well, and we form these money mindset blocks, we are watching things like Scrooge on the telly. So we are taught that being rich means being greedy, and being rich and greedy means screwing other people over for money. So we don't naturally want to be rich, because we don't, especially as females as well, we don't want to be naturally greedy. And, you know, as women, we are nurturing and we are community driven, and we don't want to be seen as greedy and, you know, up at the top of the game and a big entrepreneur with loads of money in the bank, because that's a negative for us. So we need to shift that to, the more money we earn, the more impact we can make, and the more we can contribute back. And if we can truly believe that, growing a bigger business where we earn more profit, because you have to earn profit as a business, otherwise you're not going to sustain.
So it's a bloody hobby. So say, if you're not making profit, ladies, in your business, it's a hobby.
100%.
So
100%.
guys, you know, if you're looking at it, if it's not me, it's Jenny. Talk to us, for goodness sake, because there's time that you need to turn this around and go, bloody hell, I deserve this, because it is my dream, my passion. So yeah, if you are bloody watching this and you are looking at your accounts, or actually if you're not looking at your bloody accounts, look at your accounts.
Yeah.
You know,
good place to start.
Great starting point. Go, what's coming in, what profit is, what stuff we're paying out. Keep it simple. If you realize you're giving more to your business than it's giving you, then there's two people here that can help. For goodness sake, don't do it. Just sort it out. Just talk to us, and we're not scary. And I think this is one of the things, you know, we're doing ICA. We do very similar things, you and I. But the whole thing about collaboration is the biggest tick in every box. So don't ever be scared about talking to people who do similar stuff to you, because I learn all the time and you learn all the time from different places.
And also, like, everybody's at different stages. Like, if you're beginning at the stage, a really early stage with your business, where you're kind of fighting that, oh, I'm scared to get visible on social media, I could never do a kind of YouTube live interview or a Facebook live, or go live on Instagram or whatever. We all started somewhere. When I did my first Facebook live, I was petrified. When I posted on my personal Facebook profile about my business,
my God, you did
petrified. And we all start somewhere, and you know, everyone's on their own journey. And I always say, don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 10, because it's just going to hold you back. You just need to smash your chapter 1 chapter at a time to move forward. So
I like that term. I have been jotting down, so bear with me. You know, I'm not looking at you for not listening. I am writing things down. Smash your chapter 1.
That's what you can maybe call the interview.
I like that. No, that's it. I've got it. I've got the title of our interview. Let's get sorted out. I know we're running a little bit longer than we usually do, but on story, I was reading an article the other day about Meryl Streep, and she was doing. She did Prada, didn't she? You know.
Yeah.
She did this amazing film. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's very inspirational. However, looking at the woman, her character in it was the fact that she found herself really isolated, and she said that was her last method acting thing that she did. because she got so depressed playing her character that she had to be in that method acting role all the time through the recording of it, because she's not that person.
Yeah.
And so she didn't even join in with bantering on set, or she actually became that person for the time it was rolled. And I think if we look at even these films, I love it, I do love it, but you look at it and go, I don't want to be that person, I don't want to be successful, I don't want to have to stamp on people on the way up to be that person. And this doesn't have to happen, ladies. You do not have to be in a man's world, stereotypically, I know. You don't have to be in a man's world to be successful in your own space. So think about what you're doing. If you need help, then Jenni's your girl. Give her a shout, my darlings, you know, and work on our mindset, because for goodness sake, we all deserve what we want to have, and to step out of our bloody comfort zone. Talk to somebody.
And it's mindset first. I mean, if you don't ever visualize what you actually want and then believe that you can get there, you're never going to take the big scary action that you need to take to get it. So, you know, if you really need to ask yourself, like, what do you believe you're capable of? Like, what do you actually want? And then work on your mindset so that you believe it's not only possible, it's inevitable.
It's going to happen.
And once you're at that point, only then do you start figuring out your strategy and your tactics and all of that. You need to do the mindset work first before everything else will fall into place. And that's why, you know, I could just be a business coach, but I don't, because mindset is always first. If you're a business coach and you can't do the mindset work with your clients, you're not going to be a very good business coach.
Absolutely.
Most of the blocks people come up against in terms of growing a business, especially as female, stereotyping again,
we're doing quite well today,
are mindset issues and, you know, confidence issues, self-belief issues, you know, being sort of looking at your competitors and being really, instead of being inspired, it's being intimidated. And you don't want to be there. You want to be inspired by
everybody.
And that's why I love I Can Achieve as well, because it's about inspiring people, not, you know, competitors aren't competition, they're inspiration.
Absolutely.
And, you know, that it's what you were talking about a while ago with collaborations and stuff like that. There is more than enough clients, customers, buyers around, and there's more than enough space for everybody. So why wouldn't you collaborate? Why would you
not?
Negativity from competitors, like, it's just not where you want to be. And yeah, in my Facebook group as well, it's just I always maintain it as a friendly, supportive group. And every Friday I have Friday Live, so anybody can try out and go live in my Facebook group on a Friday to promote their business. And I get my regulars in there who are totally comfortable doing Friday Lives, doing Facebook Lives. And occasionally I get new members just popping up and trying it for the first time.
Well done, ladies.
And then I get, you know, these new members popping up and trying it for the first time, and then coming back next week, and then coming back next week. And I've seen some of them now, they're Facebook Lives all over the place. They're Instagram Lives. They're doing, you know, news articles in the paper or interviews on the radio. And I think, you know, they all started somewhere. And if they started inside my Facebook group because it's a friendly, supportive, safe, private community for them to do their Facebook Live, I can feel really proud of that. And even if they're not clients, I don't care if they are clients or not. You know, everyone's welcome in there. If you're a mum in business and you want to do some practicing Facebook Live promo, come in and try out Friday Live.
I quite like that. I might nick that. I might nick that and see, you know, I quite like that. And
it's lovely. It's lovely to watch. Every Friday it really picks me up. And especially if there's someone new popping up doing it, it does make my week.
Oh, you might see it in our group, because I know you're a member of our group. That was my bloody idea. You can't have that bloody idea. But that's not what it's about.
There's no competition.
There's no competition at all, my darling.
All collaboration. So you're more than welcome to do it. Absolutely.
I think we need to get back together and talk about your podcast somewhere in the future.
Yeah,
I haven't
100%.
done that. And also, ladies, I'm going to put the link up for Jenni's group and her podcast and anything else that we can put on there. I'm guessing Instagram, her email, her phone number,
Yeah,
her address. So if you knock on the door, everything. We'll do it all.
that's a bit far.
Oh, really? I say, yeah, you can come in as long as you do the dusting.
Tell you what, I've just added, if you want to check me out, go to www.jennidonato.com, get the spelling right. Jenni is Jenni, Donato Donato. I've just added a little video pop-up thing, so you can talk to me. So if you click on it, you get me video saying hello, thank you for looking around my website. You can now send me a message and ask me anything, and you can click and record a video which pings to me. So it's like video chatting through my website, which is also, I love it. It's like last week I popped it on there. And yeah, I love it anyway. So yeah, wow. If you want to connect with me, that might be quite a nice fun way to do it.
That as well. Might have to nick that too. Bloody hell, woman. We might have to talk. Oh, right, my darling, we better go, else we'll be here all day. And
yeah,
people will be sodding off. It's Saturday or Sunday night. It'll be midnight and they're drunk. You never know.
To crack open the wine.
It's just me. Thank you, my sweet, for joining. I think it's bloody awesome. I've got loads of notes. This is my work. This is my job next. I've got to go and discover all that. But if you're watching us, or hopefully you're watching us, that would be bloody pointless us chatting, really. We just have another cup of coffee and we'll meet up for another one. But ICA TV is not just here for Jenni and I, it is for you who are watching. Share it with your friends, anybody who is a female business owner, give us a shout and you can get an interview and it gets to talk about you. Part of what we do on ICA is about getting your name out there, getting your story out there, so people get to know you a little bit. It's not all about your business. It's obviously, we've chatted about all sorts of stuff today, and people get to know you. And once they get to know you, they're really a lot more comfortable with giving you a shout, an email, a video call on your website. Very good. But also, people are buying from people. They do not just buy product, they buy from us as people, because that's the world we're moving into. So thanks again, Jenni. Really, really appreciate you coming to play. And I'm going to come and play on your group and have a little chat, and anybody else can do the same. So there'll be loads of links. So click on and then you can get hold of Jenni straight away. Very
awesome.
Cool.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun.
It's been great. Thank you, darling. And take care, everyone. And we'll see you all very soon. Bye.